Warning: what you are about to hear goes against traditional romantic counsel expressed by friends, family, and Instagram memes and quotes. Open-mindedness is advised.
Belong to you, go to the end of the road. Still I can't let you go. It's so natural. You belong to me. I belong to you.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And welcome to another edition of the Senate Podcast. I am your host, Neil Hoyt. He's your host, Derek Marshall. And together, we make up the Senate Podcast. So, my brother from another mother,
Yes, sir.
how are we feeling currently? How are we doing?
Man, I'm pretty good. Can't complain at all.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a little sweat today.
How did I go?
Won a game or
Callum
won a
is-
game. Won a game.
Oh,
Yeah,
Callum-
Callum won today. Callum
won-
won today.
won against you?
Yeah, he came with the deck very well stacked.
Oh.
He got a guy that's like 6, 8, or 9, something like that
I see.
on his side.
I see.
Yeah, he came with the deck stacked, but you know, you push through, you try where you can try, and you see what happens, you know.
Mhm.
And it didn't work out for me, you know.
I see it.
It didn't work out for me this time around.
Mm-hmm.
And but we gave it a hell of a fight. We gave it a hell of a fight. Shout out the fellas I played with today. Lemmy, my boy Silky. Shout out Silky, Lemmy.
Derek Bougainvillea, man. Gee.
Yeah, Bougainvillea.
Uh,
Shout out my guy CGI as well. It was somebody else. It was Static. Shout out Static.
oh yeah, Static boy. I hope he joined us
Yeah,
tonight.
Static came out for the first time in a while.
Mhm.
We were able to get a little bit of a sweat together. It was good fun.
He
We
came
won a
with-
game and we lost one. So
He came with Keon.
Nah, Keon didn't come out today, so it was only one half of the dynamic duo. But we made it work, man. We made it work.
All right, cool, man. Well, I am here. I am fine. I had the vaccine yesterday, so
Yeah.
just trying to deal with it. I ain't really too bracket. Just feeling out of sorts. My body feel lethargic. Spent the whole day resting in bed. You know,
This
I got
is the Pfizer
Yeah.
version of it.
Pfizer, yeah. Yesterday I got up. This morning I got up, man, and it was. I didn't feel like I was on saying strong, boy. I never felt like that in a while. But anyhow,
Yeah.
we're here. Tonight we're doing something a little different. We're exclusively on YouTube because we ain't dealing with that Facebook thing no more. We're tired of that there all the time. So we're here now. Derek, I want you to plug some G Syndicate stuff. Even in the intro, as I was telling you, I found a nice clip of you guys doing a rendition of End of the Road by Boyz II Men.
Uh-huh.
So I decided to put that in the intro. But plug G Syndicate, man, as always. Let them know where to find you guys and
Yeah,
stuff.
man. G Syndicate 6 on everything. So that's gsyndicate6.com, G Syndicate 6, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right here on YouTube as well. Big up the guys always, Kiyomal, Waden, Mark, Antonio, and Brett. Shout out you fellas, man. Had a real good rehearsal last night.
Mm-hmm.
May you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready, and
Hey.
the fellas are definitely staying ready. So
Right.
yeah, man, we ready to rock.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to do something this weekend, so
Okay,
hopefully
so-
that will go according to plan and everything will be good in the hood. And we'll be all right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no problem, man. All right. So, Derek, now as usual, for all of those that are joining us and don't know, I see Agent Smith in the house. Shout out. Thanks for he's saying the intro is mint. Thank you very much. Jennifer is here. Good night, Jennifer. Right. So for those of you who don't know, usually what we do is every Tuesdays and Thursdays. But before we start, we're on YouTube now. So go ahead and, as you're here, subscribe, like,
Yeah.
comment, or dislike if you want
Share.
to. No matter, share. Let us know what's going on, and feel free to join us on the YouTube page. We won't abandon it completely because I can still put the link from YouTube on Facebook for those of you who are on Facebook page can join us as well as I can put it on Derek's personal page. So my personal page too. So we can still be on Facebook, but we kind of migrating here to YouTube because YouTube is less problems, and we were planning to consolidate everything into one platform, and YouTube makes the most sense for what we do and what we're trying to achieve. So anyhow, every Tuesdays and Thursdays before every episode, Derek tries to drum up some conversation on his personal and on the Senate podcast page. And this is no different. Derek, let us know what we're talking about tonight. I see Laura Pilgrim. Good night. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, what we talking about tonight, brother?
Yeah, man. Tonight we are looking at the concept of this. This is brought to us by one of the most unlikely sources, I guess you would say, our guy Croft. He brought it. He called me on Wednesday morning.
Shout out Croft.
Yeah, and he said, "It's just frame it as a question. How do you know when a relationship has run its course? Is it possible to rekindle old flames? Should we ever go back to an ex? Is it possible to forgive past hurts and return to a previous relationship?" And against that backdrop, you know, tell you I'm a Colin Cowherd fan, so we can do a little bit of a monologue and talk, right?
Okay.
And I love professional sport, right? And not so much football these days. Well, what some people call soccer.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, what was that? You know, but back in the day, I used to be a big time soccer fan. Not so much now, but definitely cricket, definitely basketball. Not really an NFL guy. I follow NFL for the drama that tends to come up. The guys like Antonio Brown and that kind of characters, you know.
Yeah.
But one sport that I kind of get into, depending on who the character is, and then fall back a little bit, is boxing, right?
Right.
And there's a guy by the name of Sugar Ray Leonard, right? Sugar Ray Leonard was once regarded as one of the... He's a former professional boxer. He's an occasional actor, right? Often regarded as one of the greatest and fastest boxers of all time.
Right.
Fought from 1977 to 1997. So he fought for 2 decades, right? Won 5 weight divisions, won titles in 5 weight divisions. And he also was the undisputed welterweight champion at one point. Accomplished guy. So in February 1982, he defended the title against a guy, Bruce Finch, 4th ranked contender. And Leonard knocked him out in the 3rd round. His next fight was supposed to be, I remember this is February 1982. His next fight was supposed to be against Roger Stafford in May of 1982. So 3 months apart. While training, he started to see some flutters, some little things moving in the eye and stuff like that. He went to the doctor and discovered that he had a detached retina. Right? So obviously, he'd be fighting with one eye. So they had to cancel the fight. And he had surgery to repair the retina in May, which would have been almost like a week before the fight. The fight would have been the 14th of May. He had surgery on the 9th of May. So obviously, he ain't doing the fighting. Right? In November of 1982, he announced his retirement from boxing. Folks, I can tie it all up, so just stay with me for a little bit. He maintained that his eye was fully healed, but he just didn't want to box anymore. But missing the limelight and the competition, he announced in December of 1983, a year later, that he was returning to the ring. Now, he had a bout with a guy called Kevin Howard that was supposed to be for February 1984. Now, he announced in December 1983 that he wanted to return to the ring, but he had a fight scheduled for February 1984. So that's 2 months of preparation for boxing. Folks, that ain't the best kind of time frame to try to get yourself ready, especially if you're just coming out of retirement. But the fight was postponed when Leonard had minor surgery on his right eye to fix a loose retina.
Right.
This latest eye problem further fueled flames of those who were opposed to his coming back, right? Now, before the fight with Howard, a guy called Dave Jacobs rejoined his team in a limited role. And the guy had quit in 1980 because he had disagreed with his decision to have a rematch with Roberto Duran, right? Stay with me, folks. You can tell you that. Now, in May 11th, 1984, he fought Kevin Howard. Remember, this guy announced in December 1983 he was coming back. The fight was scheduled for February 1984. He had a minor surgery on his eye to fix a loose retina in February, and he fought in the beginning of May 1984. But needless to say, Howard knocked Leonard flat on his back in the 4th round, and it was the first knockdown of Leonard's professional career. Right? Now, he announced that after the fight, after he got knocked down, that he was retiring again. This is 1984. And then on May 1st, 1986, he announced that he would return to the ring to fight Marvin Hagler. So since 1983 and 1986, he's retired 3 times and returned twice, something like that. Right? Obviously, people they generated a lot of controversy because he was inactive, one, and because this man got eye surgery going on all the time. Yeah. However, people had wanted to see the fight from before. But going into all that, what does Sugar Ray Leonard's story have to do with relationships?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, very good question. Right? Many times in relationships, right? You see, we got some people in the house. See my guy neighbor in the house, show the neighbor, cherishes in the house as well. Tango Fox 1. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
see you in the house, show to everybody.
We can just know that we on YouTube now, so you know. Yeah, again, people
get
real
all the
names.
funny names.
Yeah. But we still welcome y'all. I mean, you know.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining in. So what does professional boxing and story of Sugar Ray Leonard have to do with relationships? You know, sometimes it's over and we don't know it's over, or we don't want to admit that it's over.
That is over.
Yeah. And we hang about way too long in a situation that we know is not the best, or we know, I may not say not the best, that we know is detrimental to us. And then the relationship itself, life itself, comes and puts us flat on our back like Sugar Ray Leonard. Right? No. What am I talking about? No. Sugar Ray had eye surgery. He had loose retina. Right? You can't see. But he still felt, he missed the excitement of it. You know what I mean? He missed, that's what he said, he missed the excitement, he missed the competition. How many of us are in relationships and we just miss the excitement of being in a relationship? We miss coming home to somebody and that exchange you have talking about your day or whatever. Or you miss being able to have somebody to go somewhere with you. You know? Not necessarily that, you really want to be with the person, but you just miss the company, right? I had a friend of mine one time, many years ago, he said, boy, there is foolish if I don't got a woman around me. And I found that interesting. Also found it informative. Because if you can't be happy by yourself, I don't know how you can be happy with somebody else.
With anybody else, yep.
Yeah, and so Sugar Ray Leonard, he goes, he gets his surgery, he comes back, somebody puts him down. And I didn't even go into all the story only because he retired again, came back again, right? And I was watching the highlights of the last fight he was in, and he had no clue where he was by the end of the fight. sometimes we have to look at situations and we have to, in the immortal words of Kenny Rogers, we have to know when to fold them. We have to know when to walk away. We have to know when to run. Right? I find too often in relationships, we don't know when to walk away. We don't know when to run. Right? So, ladies, I'm sure you could agree with me here. I mean, you're in a relationship with a man, and you know, it is a physically, I don't want to use that word. Let's say violent. Yeah, let's see. It's a physically violent relationship. But you stay in it. You know, one time you used to hear, if my man don't beat me, don't love me. Right? And you stay in it. Right? Fellas, you got a woman and she playing horns and you grandmother. But you are still saying to yourself, man, she's a good girl. Are you sticking out? The question is, Neil, why are we sticking out? Right? When we look at the Curry situation, 33 years they've been together. They got together in 1988. They have 3 grown children. 2 of them are multi-millionaires. One is married to a millionaire. Sorry, the other one is married to a millionaire. And they're both in their mid-50s, I think. The mother is in her mid-50s for certain. I'm not sure if Dell is older. And they decided to call it quits after 33 years.
33 years.
You know, and I started to wonder, now, where she could be going, where he could be going. You know what I mean? At this stage of the game, you're together so long. You know, you're together so long. Where on earth could you be going? What could you be going out there looking for at this stage? Maybe, I don't know, maybe old fashioned. Maybe I thinking, you know, at some point you gotta, in the immortal words of TC, you gotta stay your ass in one spot at some point. But they figured it to call it quits. Why? That's the question I want to know. Why? Why call it quits after so much time, effort, money invested? And on the flip side of that, why are some of us so slow to call it quits when we know that we are in a bad situation?
No, I love this question because it's interesting because I've been having a lot of conversations behind the scenes about both sides of the coin, where you are slow to say, all right, this ain't working for me. Or you know, what, how do you, so, okay. So here's my thing. My thing is this. If they've been married 33 years and they have obviously successful children, they have money, you know, Dell had a very successful career himself. And, you know, let's go through the various reasons. So one of the reasons that normally happens, which I would believe would be, you kind of take your eye off the ball, right? You through life, through experiences, through whatever, you and the person grow distant. You don't stoke the flame, so to speak. And you know, I'm not saying at certain advanced ages you ain't trying to, you know, have sex or whatever as much or as often, or probably your schedules don't allow or whatever, especially as grandparents. But you have to find ways to keep the fire burning. The second thing is infidelity. I saw, I'm not going to speak on it, but I heard a rumor saying that that was the cause of their divorce. I would not take that as gospel. That is a rumor, hearsay. But even if it's infidelity, right? There has to be a reason why your partner was unfaithful after 33 years of marriage. And it goes back to whether it's 33 years, whether it's 5 years, whether it's a relationship or not a marriage. I think that people are too quick to, well, not too quick, but I find divorce is an option in all these cases, right? I go back to the conversation I had with this couple a few weeks ago. Both of them been together for 46 years, and they're well into near 70. And when I talked to them, it was like, yeah, it's just not a choice. Divorce is not an option unless you really disrespect the person, or you can't find any other recourse or anything but to divorce. You've tried all the channels, therapy. You tried everything, and people just decide, what, I hard headed and about that. If you ain't got another recourse and irreconcilable differences, but really and truly, I find that the couple said divorce is not an option, and I find that for a lot of people, divorce is an option. We are too quick to put up our hands and walk away, right? I'm not saying every case, I'm saying some cases. So it is funny to me where you ask about going back, right? Me personally, I think it would all depend on a few things. It would depend on, because timing. I had this conversation with somebody recently about timing being off. And you could get together with someone and you may not be mature enough. Like, you may have gotten married early and you realize, we're trying this married thing, but that makes sense, or we're not where we want to be. And later on in life, you realize love is still there. You've had time to grow, mature, and to see things from the other person's perspective. You've grown, and you go back. I don't necessarily have a problem with going back, but it ain't everybody is go back to. In every situation, every strange feeling that you get with somebody that you go back for, right? And you got to choose the reasons why you're going back for. You ain't getting back for sex. You ain't getting back for money. You try back a road, it got to be because you recognize within yourself that you have grown, or the person has grown, or you both realize that you've grown, and there's still that connection after all of these years. And even then, once you get back together, or you attempt to get back together, you have to kind of have these conversations, resolve the past, whatever the past was, whatever caused you all to have that first relationship or marriage being past tense, and then move forward. So I don't have a problem with going back, but I do have a problem with people kind of giving up. Now, I don't know their situation. I don't know what would cause them after 33 years to get divorced. But that scares me as a man that we joke on this podcast and say I am pro-marriage, there is anti-marriage, which is not true. He usually says that it's a bad deal. But whether we could talk about marriage, we talk about marriage in space, but really and truly we talk about relationships, long-lasting relationships. And long-lasting relationships, people are easy to give up on and walk away. You have to be open, and it scares me because I fear that is something that I work on in therapy. Is something that scares me because I don't want to get in a long-term relationship and 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, for whatever reason the woman say, yeah, this ain't gonna work with me, right? And she looking to walk away, right? Or
Caswell.
yeah, the Kazi, right? Shout out Caswell Franklin. So for me, for my one part, man, I think that you have to be very, very open-minded. You have to be very, very open, honest, and transparent with your partner. And you have to allow spaces of vulnerability and honesty to discuss some of the issues in your relationship, right? As I said, I know things happen. We sometimes get too busy and we go on autopilot with our partner. We, children getting to do, mortgage getting to do, bills getting to do, career advancement getting to do, dreams, goals, and aspirations getting to do. And you may lose balance in trying to connect with the person. You must say, everything all right, man. She good. Once she happy, everything good. But then you end up in a situation where, 10 years down the line, you have everything you need on paper, but the woman ready to walk out. So you have to be very cognizant, man. You have to create those spaces and talk. I personally believe that we are too quick to cut down and come home today. Be too quick to say, see me, saying gonna work with me. And yes, there are situations that do involve that, where you say
Caswell hilarious.
Caswell hilarious. Yeah, so I kind of just going around the bush, but yeah, for me, and I want people in the chat to kind of sound off. I'm looking here and see we got 16 people watching, concurrent viewers. That count may be more, but I will look into figuring it out. But anyhow, the point is, I want y'all to sound off. Divorce, breaking up, whatever. Would you go about? You know, I talked to someone earlier this week and was told that timing was off with a previous engagement with someone, or well, not engagement, but interaction with someone. And you know, that is quite true. Sometimes we are not where we need to be in life to be in that type of relationship, right? That's a part of it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have bad vibes to the person, or the person was not what you wanted. It's just at that time, you know, they were almost there. Oops, almost dropped my camera. They were almost there, but you know, for whatever reason, y'all weren't on the same page. But you constantly have to try to be on the same page. You constantly have to try to be in the same space with your partner in terms of mentally, emotionally, everything that. Just like how you have to prioritize yourself and the person has to prioritize themselves, you have to find ways to prioritize the relationship at some point. For me, if I get married, if I ever get married, I ain't getting divorced. Unless there is something we just can't, you know, we can't talk, she don't want to talk, we can't work it out, it's disrespect, is whatever. But yeah, so that's how I see it. Y'all can let us know how you see it.
Okay. I like that point you made, Neil, because you say you're not getting divorced, but I was thinking there as you were speaking that a relationship still requires two people to work.
Yes, sir.
And you can't have a situation where one person is willing to work on this particular situation and the other person isn't.
Mm-hmm.
That is just a recipe for frustration.
Right.
And it can't work. Natalia, big up the president, the 237 lady, she say all the time, one hand can't clap. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you still need the other person to be willing to be there with you, working it through, working on it.
Right.
You and I, we got a partner, you know, his situation just devolved because he wanted to work on it, but if he not so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Jimmy is saying women initiate most divorces. Yeah, 70 to 80% of the divorces are initiated by women.
Mm-hmm.
Even this particular Curry situation initiated by the wife.
Right.
I won't get into the details of that, but that was particularly interesting. And Jimmy also makes the point. The fact is nowadays divorce is the first option. I really want to ask the people in the chat, if you, because again, having spoken to Croft, I spoke to Croft yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you say you really enjoyed the show on Tuesday, etc. Shout out to Croft.
Mm-hmm. Shout out.
And we had a little bit of back and forth. And also that I had to ask myself the question, if you knew, right, this is for anybody in the chat, if you knew that if you left the person you were with right now, that would be your last relationship with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So after you and this person done, that's it. Then no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Nobody else. There are no more interactions with nobody with anybody on that level. No more sex on that level. Right? If you want sex, it gotta be transactional, so you gotta pay for it in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
So if you knew that if you left the person you were with right now, that there will be no significant relationships thereafter, would you still leave that person, or would you try your best to work it out?
Right.
Right? That's the question I really would like to get an answer from the people in the chat. Guys, you're watching the Senate podcast here on YouTube. Give us a follow. I see 2 people subscribed as we started.
Yeah.
So be happy about that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Give us a like too.
Give us a like. We really appreciate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you knew that the person you were with right now would be your last relationship, would you be so quick to leave them, right? Now, again, Neil talks about working through it and stuff like that. No, they don't really have much tolerance for that kind of thing, because I feel like if you, and I said it, see Claire in the house.
Shout out Claire, shout out Laura. Thanks for joining us.
Laura.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good to see you guys as always, right?
Mm.
And I said it last week. I think it was never, and I think it was Tara Angel. I think she quoted it. Never reward aberrant behavior, right? And I feel as if you have to turn a blind eye to some of the things that happen in relationships, right? Because you'd be asking Del, for example, to turn a blind eye to his wife going and being with somebody else and still wanting to stay in the house and then expecting him to pay her out, that kind of thing. Although, having said all that, it must be, I really have to be upfront here and say that after 33 years, you know, why? That I guess that's the part that got me confused. You know? After 33 years, why? You know what I mean? Because I figure you kind of settle into a routine of sorts.
Yeah.
Our routines can be comfortable. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But, you know, what's a little hard between two people? You know, I understand what you're trying to say, Neil, because if I'm together, if me and a woman together 33 years, we married and everything, stretch your mind, chat, all right? I know this is me talking about being married and all that, but stretch your mind, see if you could conceive it, right? So I am married. Me and my wife and I, we together for 33 years, right? We raised some beautiful children, adult, functioning, upstanding citizens in society, very successful in their careers and everything. Be together 33 years. What would I be doing going into the dating market at that point, at nearly 60? Ain't that out there for me at this stage?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know this song real odd coming from me, but shoot, your wife go do a little dabbling and come back. All right, cool. I go do a little dabbling and come back. All right, cool.
But you see, there are a lot of
We
people
coming back. We home.
Yeah, but a lot of people
But
would
that's me
right,
thinking down the road at 50 plus.
right.
You know, I don't think at 30, at certainly not 25, that I would have been that understanding, lenient, tolerant of that. But that's me. I guess I just thinking a bit more pragmatically.
Well, in my opinion, right, I think a lot of people would have a problem with that because, as far as they're concerned, they figure that is the horn the issue or the symptoms or other things. Shout out the squirt 18 antisocial bastard GM.
Social bastard GM. Wow.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
I ain't say that you're settling. I ain't say you're settling for disrespect because I you know, people seem to think that. Let me just talk it. I figure there are things that can be done, and there are ways to do things without it being disrespectful, right? Matt Finger all the time. Very often, I go to finals. I hear Matt Finger MC programs often,
right?
And he does this thing during the breaks and shows, especially like when you're waiting for results on finals night and stuff like that. He would just talk to the audience and bring up a lot of stuff. And very often he tells a joke where he says there are people going along in certain relationships and certain things happening, and everybody cool, right? People getting horn here, horn in there, and that horn ain't going down. People don't know, and they're cool. Or even if they know, it's discreet, and they're cool with it. Somebody goes as a fly in the ointment and kind of puts it up there. But yeah, you know that you woman got this man. Yeah, you knew in your head for years that she had this man. It never bothered you before. But now because people know, suddenly it's a big problem for you. You come, the woman come home, you quarreling, you keeping them noisy house. She do she thing, you do you thing. everybody happy. But now we gotta get tangled up in the legal system because we talk about division of assets and all kind of thing. Because I can't say, you know what, baby, is it going in a good times horn?
Good times horn, boy. Good times horn is a rough horn.
Come home. Maybe my thing come back home. I you know maybe looking at it
so
a little bit too practically.
Well, so there's my thing, right? My thing is, for me, unless we come to that agreement that because of our lifestyle, because of what we got going on, maybe me traveling, you traveling, whatever, I can understand that. I can understand saying, you know what, we can dabble or once we agree to it. But I find that if we don't have the conversation, if we don't have the conversations, what's going on with our relationship? Why are we dismissive? Like, I have tried to engage you several times to say, well, babe, I realize we ain't spending time together. I realize we disconnect. We're not on the same page. The vibe off, the vibe in there, whatever. Let me go to therapy. Let me go to a retreat. Let me go on a vacation. I trying to re-engage her. And for whatever reason that is not coming to fruition, then you can have to have that conversation. So look, we not supplying each other's needs. We need to figure out a way how to, enjoy life in another way. You know what I mean? So I think why people may have a problem with it, and while your solution does make sense, I still feel like there's a bit of communication that has to happen there. If there's going to be dalliance in the relationship, let it be understood like, I ain't going nowhere, you ain't going nowhere, but clearly we on the same page with our needs, wants, and desires. And I love you still. I don't want to leave you, and I won't leave. No. We go back to Will and Jada. It is rumored that they have an open relationship, right? And that come hard or come solve, their life partners now. They don't plan to divorce. They don't plan to, whatever. They can do whatever they do discreetly. I feel that if they've had that conversation and they've decided to do that, and, they can be responsible and discreet in their infidelities, then is it really infidelity? Because they have made that decision for them. As far as they're concerned, they may say, we're your best friends. We love each other. We may not facilitate certain intimate needs or wants or desires for each other. But you know what? Let me just do what we gotta do. But we ain't divorcing. Well, you can't bring home children, no. You can't bring home STDs and the like. So to me, I can understand that, but the conversation has to be had. You can't just up and decide, this woman ain't give me what you want again and cheat or rumble.
You see,
you gotta have that conversation, right? Because then you're giving grounds for divorce.
Because I see people in the chat getting a little flustered. Anti-social is saying, what's the point of that, staying together and doing your own thing just to say that you still with somebody after 33 years? After 33 years, you built something. It is now a matter of there's a life together.
Mm-hmm.
The step out dalliance outside is one aspect of the relationship. If everything else is functioning perfectly, going well, you can throw away the 85% for the 15%. Shout out Billy and sex life. You know what I mean? So I think people are kind of caught up in the whole, anybody rub up for me is disrespect. I feel like there are ways to do things without it being disrespectful. There are old times, so I tell you, a horn is only a horn when you take it off.
Yeah,
right?
I
take the horns before, we take them on, and it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because to my brain, there was something else going on in the relationship that mattered more than that. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think everything else is going well? This is wild speculation here, sir. But again, a relationship is an intensely personal situation to the two people involved, right? You just mentioned Will and Jada. Their situation was public. Will went for TV, probably everybody met sport at man, all kind of thing. Them still together.
Yep.
She come back a year later, almost to the date, post some love letters from to Tupac. Them still together. So to Neil's point, I think we might be a little too hasty to say, oh, this body cheap for me down with them. Oh, yeah.
No.
It is more than just the horning. Yeah. If this we I don't think that if Sonia Curry had gone out, had her little dalliance and come back and it was cool, all would be well.
Yeah, but you know,
Sonia Curry went into a situation where she is now getting a better deal, a bigger, better deal. So she's able to kind of like go to that. So it's like, hey, I can move now because there's safety in that particular, the security in that situation. If she was going to deal with me or you, Neil, she'd be going back to Dell.
I mean, well, I ain't know, bruh.
She'd be going back to Dell.
I just saying, I may not got the money. I may not got the money, but Sonia, if you watching, you can holler at me, you know. It's all right.
I saw Dion ask the question earlier. So you're saying if the horns were discreet, this would have been an issue. Exactly that.
I am saying that. I would say because I am certain that Dell has done his own share of horning throughout their 32 years. But let's not even speculate. I would even go as far to say that if they had the conversation before, you see, it's all about conversation. People don't talk enough. People don't communicate enough. At the end of the day, have the conversations. If you with somebody for 33 years and for whatever reason y'all lost sight of everything that's going on, right? And y'all come to a point where you say, yo, this woman ain't stroking my fire, boy, I need to go and find another woman to whatever. Or you see it coming, right? I would seriously, Neil would drive that lash securely once you go near the heart and steel. But you know, but to me, I will have the conversation. I say, look, here you, right? I try to engage you several times. I try to holler at you. I try to fix this. You're attacking me, all right? No. Do you want a divorce? Right? For me, that ain't an option. I would say, look, I don't want a divorce. That's not my number one option. I say, listen, you clearly don't want to give me certain things. I clearly not doing certain things for you, if that's the case. Yeah, maybe we should consider, you know, is there anybody else or whatever? And if there's anybody else, say, do you want to be with them? Do you want to be in a relationship with me? If you know what I mean? You have the honest conversations. We don't do that. Right? If for all you know, you can have the honest conversation and say, look, I ain't divorce you. I love you. You know, if you're sick, I will still wait your mouth and that sort of thing. If you, as Tanisha is like to say, if you stool yourself, I still wait you up and tell me your old age. But there are certain things within that relationship you're willing to provide them more. And you will want to seek in other people. Then is that really grounds for divorce? You see, we're talking about communication in the end. I feel like at the end of the day, we got to communicate. I see Jennifer mentioned earlier, I want to address this before I forget it. Jennifer said that talking about men can't take a horn. And white men, if white men can't take a horn, there's one K-I-L-U. K-I-L-L-U, right? Shout out Kevin, no join the chat. But to me, nobody could take a horn well, you know. Don't let me tap this thing, but man can't take a horn. If it make it take a horn better or whatever, nobody takes a horn. We saw a thin line between love and hate. We saw where the text here. The can't take horn. People can't take horn. People cannot take horns. Right? Men just go and do atrocious things. Women just do atrocious things too, or sit down and have a mental breakdown and eat ice cream, gain weight, you know. We deal in things our way, but nobody can take infidelity. So that notion of a horn, men can't take horns, nobody can take horns. Anyone wanted that get horn, this chat, I know when they get horn, want to take it well. Talk to me in the chat if you want to take it well. How well want to take it? When to take the horny person, say you find the person horny, you say, oh well, let me get to work here. Let me go and eat the food. Let me go and sleep. You night rest back up.
Stick a pin there, Neil, because I see two comments here that popped up. Claire says, but one person shouldn't be expected to satisfy all your needs. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. We talked about the full 100.
Yeah.
Good. So if one person can't fulfill all your needs, Dion says, the thing is, I'm sure that's how a lot of these high-profile relationships are. They only get divorced when information is made public. Example given, Jeff Bezos.
You could even talk about
Because-
your boy Bill Gates. Bill Gates. It was rumored that, or it was alleged that his wife was on board
right?
for decades.
Why? Why is that? Why does the divorce rate shut off when people start making over $250,000 a year? Why? Because people got more to lose. People got more to lose.
Wow.
So it's a case of saying, you know what? She doing she thing, but I ain't prepared to give she half my things. So we making this work. Come hell or high water. You feel that when a Jada really like cheese on bread. I wish this man August Alsina would just cash it from me for 2-3 months. I am certain that Will have said, you know, bless this fella. But poor fella, he put the news in the streets. He put the news in the streets, so now it look bad for everybody.
I actually
damage control.
That's my theory.
Them ain't divorcing. Will worth over $250 million. He ain't divorcing. It ain't happening.
And I personally think that's why Will was vexed. Don't take this thing. I think he was vexed because it went public. I don't think he was vexed about the indiscretion. I think he vexed because a lot of people know, because because around that time, right? He was on social media. He was doing the YouTube. He was doing the Instagram. He was doing, making his channel, whatever. And you got this thing pop up with August Alsina. So now you're posting things about movies or about whatever you want to create or whatever. And people under there saying, yeah, but you take a horn from Jada, you let a young man take your thing. So I think he was vexed because that is going to be bad press. Right? I don't think he cared. I don't think he cared if Jada, whatever. That's like she.
And let us be real, guys. You think that he ain't got offers too?
Wait. Will Smith? She.
Know what I mean?
You like make his sport, boy. Will Smith?
Yeah, you think. So it's okay to say, yeah, I ain't taking this here. Jennifer is saying they were open marriage long before that incident. Why? That's the question. Why? There's a reason that they're prepared to say, you know what? You do you, I do me, we cool. We go to functions together, whatever. Shoot, we may or may not sleep in the same bed. Sarah Jessica Parker is married to Matthew Broderick, I believe, and they live in 2 separate houses.
Yeah.
Next door to each other.
And
they come together occasionally, they sleep separately occasionally.
No, here's my thing, right? That now you bring that point brings up a very good thing. You see, it comes to your definition of love, like right? What love is. Because at the end of the day, you get married, you get in a long-term committed relationship through love, right? And I feel as though your love for a person, your love and commitment to that person and what you have built and what the relationship stands for and means, you may have children, you may have assets, those things count for something. So you love this. I look at it like this, right?
But Neil, hold tight, Neil. I don't want to cut you off because I know you the feelings, man. But yeah, I'm sure I not so much the feelings, man. I know you talk about people get together for love and all that. Day. Yeah, it start that way. But you see when people talking divorce, they ain't.
They don't love, you know.
They don't love talking.
They don't love talking.
We talking. The house worth $500,000. Who moving out? Pay me.
And I want her $1,000 main month cup.
Pay me. That's what it's come down to. I got $250,000 in this house.
Right.
Pay me or I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And there are several situations right here in Barbados. Sorry, right here in Barbados, for those of you who are our international audience.
Yep.
Right here in Barbados, there are several instances of that where 2 people living in a house. The house got 3 bedrooms. One body and one at the top, one body and one at the bottom, and never the twain shall meet. Passing like 2 ships in the night, and they live in the same
place,
house. But nobody ain't moving, nobody ain't going away.
Nope.
Because what? Division of assets. So some people just shut the eye. If they want it scratch, sometimes they call you, hey, skipper, come up here, so check this window for me. Scratch an itch. Scratch an itch, or you go long back down your corner now.
Yeah.
And that's how they roll.
Yeah.
That's how the rule.
But my
Dion is saying people need to find a dynamic that works for them, whatever that is correct.
right, and that's my thing, right? And that's the point. The point is that, as Derek says, the feelings, man. But because I believe that as much as we try to downplay that element of love, love does play a point in it. And I think that for me, I look at it like this: Derek and I have been close friends for 30 years, right? No, yeah, we doing this podcast. Big, you gotta play that game. You gotta play that against me.
That's
Yeah,
a long time, man.
it's a long time, man. But I look at it like this: we're doing this platform, we're doing this podcast. We've been friends for 30 years. Played basketball together, teammates together, adversaries together. Shoot, a horror went down, if you want to call it that. Maybe it was teenagers. You know, like things happen, right? But we are very close friends. So cut the one coming. But yeah, like there is my boy. There is in my close circle of friends. We doing this podcast now, and wherever this podcast takes us, let's say it takes us to the upper echelon of YouTube, of the manosphere, and we have a business. We literally gotta start now, registering a business and doing all sorts of stuff. We know God make this a legit thing, right? Now, let us say we come to a point now where Derek and I are not necessarily on the same page when it comes to some of these issues that we want to in the manosphere. Let's say it comes to a point where Derek says he wants to go left, I want to continue doing the content, or I want to go right. I think knowing who I am and knowing who Derek is, we would have the conversation to talk and find a way to compromise and to meet in the middle. Like I don't see a situation where we have our ego is gonna be like, you know what? I start this here, and it's me that set up this, and you do that, and da. You can't think. You know what? I want half. No. At the end of the day, it is all about a mission. There and I are on a mission, and that is what I say about the love, commitment, and the values you have going into relationship. You've committed back in, that was my 33 years, back in 1988.
88.
They committed to each other and said, "Wait, shout out Maria. Maria, thanks for joining us. It's very, very good to see you here. Wait, shout out Steve who? Stephen Wu.
Steve Wu.
Right, but you married in 1988. You have a mission statement. And that's why, it's funny because there I said a few months ago, a few episodes ago, marriage is a business arrangement. Marriage ain't about the love and feel or whatever, right? You get married, you got a mission, you got a life statement, you got a goal. I think you should sit down when your relationship gets to a certain point, because not necessarily marriage, but when your relationship gets to a certain point, you got to sit down with your partner and say, here, too, right? I see you in this light. I want you in this light. I am willing to journey and commit to you and go through certain big life decisions with you as we go forward. So what is our goal? What is your goals? What are your aspirations? What is my goal? Like we talk, we have that conversation. And those goals and aspirations, you have that conversation and you keep having those conversations throughout the years. Because it should never get to a point where, like, with me and Derek, let's say we know millionaires. We live in fat on the YouTube money, right? And hey, don't come for YouTube for the copyright. But we living high on the hog, so to speak. But then no, because we want to go different directions, it does not mean that I might start to get full of myself. I might say, you know what, there, I think we should do reaction videos. I want to do reaction. I want to talk more about the manosphere. I want to talk about politics. Right? There, say, but that's not what the mission was. I think we would have that conversation to say, well, bruh, I understand you won't get the politics, but we got to stay on message on brand. We could probably do a spin-off thing. We could probably do, and this is what Derek is talking about, because there's dalliance. You may say, you could go and mess with this other network. You may be able to go and work this other podcast, but we stay on mission. We stay on brand. We stay on message. So if you're in a relationship, right, and you get with someone, you're close with someone, you decide to go down that path, there should never be again, unless they're extremes, unless the person beat you, curse you, do all sorts of things, right? You should not be there saying, man, look, you can I want a divorce because I love this other man, or I want this divorce because I got this other woman, or whatever. Because somewhere along the lines you weren't communicating. Somewhere along the lines you cut your eye off the ball. Somewhere along the lines you went off brand or off message. You went away from what you were doing. And I see Jennifer saying very well. Jennifer said that life happens. I am not surprised that life happens. I know that life happens, but that's the whole point. The whole point is we all know that life happens. We all know we get curveballs. So if you can stand up in front of God, and you can stand up in front of your family, say I do, for better or worse, death does part, the whole shebang. You want to eat a big food and dance, take enough pictures and video, and then 32 years later, when I can't stand, decide I want another, I want divorce, I want to move out. Like life just happened, you know that there back in 1988, then and thing, and she was married to an NBA player, so you know what I mean. She knew what time it was. So for me, for my one part, I feel as though you have to communicate. You have to continuously talk to your partner about the direction of your relationship, because at the end of the day, if you all lose the direction, you all losing the path or whatever, and when one body step out, and the person find out, the person be like, "Well, you step out just like that. You just harm me like that." After 33 years, that you again start again your ego and your feelings. But you're studying that we have been disconnected for a few years now. Children move out. Steph doing Steph things. Seth doing what he want to do. The daughter doing what she want to do. All them married, move out, everything like that. You got grandkids. And maybe Dell through his work moving and working wherever and whatever. Life happens. But that's the goal. The goal was to have children. The goal was to have a career that's successful. The goal was to have grandchildren. The goal was to create children that are self-sufficient and functioning adults in this society. You have achieved the goal, so now what? You just say, well, we achieved.
So they could know.
Huh?
So they could know against what you're thinking.
Yeah. We reached the goal. Yeah. We reached the goal. So thanks for the memories. Give me my half and let me move out.
Cut down and come in.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think that if you have committed to someone, that's why I don't take. Like, there are two things in this life that I did not take lightly when it came to relationships. That is one, children, and two, marriage. I could be married every Saints too. I could have had children ever Saints too. But you know what I said? I don't want to impregnate an idiot. I do not want to marry an idiot. I do not want to marry someone that got up and just move away and throw up the hands and don't want to have the hard conversations. We talk about unsexy conversations all the time on this space. And to me, I don't take those things lightly. Because you have a responsibility. You have a commitment. You have a child, you got to honor and commit to that. So if the person is an idiot, if you just want to, have unprotected sex with the first woman that comes along, the first man that comes along, you get pregnant, and then all of a sudden there's an awkward situation. You can't stand the person. This person's an idiot. Well, guess what? Showed up mark, play country games, get country prizes. Same way with marriage.
But that's interesting, Neil, because I think that's the real crux of the matter. Jennifer says people get married for different reasons. That's the problem. That ain't really a problem. The problem is people get married trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Ah, boy.
We've spoken more than once here about us not having a dating culture in Barbados, in that we kind of jump in bed with somebody and then it's like, oh, well, I guess we're together now. And then you try to fix it from there. You haven't had the conversations that you're having in the end, or the things you find out in the end, you didn't know in the beginning.
Right.
So now it is a case where, are you already with this body? Let me work it out. So you're trying to build it as you play it. Kind of situation.
Yep.
So you're already in the relationship. You already having sex. Shoot, a child come along fast. Whoops, bam. We together. We as a family. But I don't really know you. You don't really know me. Do we have, as we say, a mission statement? What are the goals for this relationship? Do we have divergent goals or convergent goals?
And what do we stand for? Individually and
what do we
together.
stand for as a couple, individually and as together?
Yep.
What we really both.
Mm-hmm.
But we rather be jumping there with somebody, and then it's like, yeah, I guess the best thing to do is get married here. That's the next logical step.
We been together here for the last 5 years, and I guess like live by you, you live by
you know,
me, you know. Could as well get married here, eat the food, and feel good about life.
yeah, you know, it kind of goes into that, and then you going along,
Mm-hmm.
and shoot, if you ever been in that kind of situation where you end up in a relationship by accident, put some ones in the chat.
Yeah, I could put
Because
one.
it
That
happens
I could put ones too.
Put a one in the chat, brother, because that's generally how it goes. We don't really have that kind of discussion where it's like, so were you really both? Was the intention?
Mm.
We don't have that.
Mm-mm.
We see one another, you like one another, so you both some action.
I likes you and I wants you.
Whoops, bam, we in a relationship.
Yep.
We get married, and because we don't want to look bad, we don't want to look like we like a failure. I could tell you when I was going through divorce, that was something that haunted me.
Mm-hmm.
Wondering what other people would think
Mm-hmm.
about the particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
I got friends who are in that situation now, who wondering what other people would think about the particular situation. And you're afraid of getting divorced, and they got older school people who got a little bit more old school thinking, who say God don't like divorce. My friend who went through that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's sticking it out.
Mm-hmm.
Getting her left and right,
Mm-hmm.
but she's sticking it out. Because as far as she's concerned, this is the only man she knew them together from school. She ain't getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
The man do all kind of thing with she up down crossway,
Mm-hmm.
but she's sticking in
Right.
until she finally she came to a point, a gallon bottle could only hold a gallon.
Facts.
She came to a point, she said, you know what,
Can't do it no more.
thanks.
Wait. No. I want to hear Caswell in full glory. Go play Caswell
Sorry,
again.
man. I said.
It's not gonna work with me.
Shout out Cassie.
So she rolls. She finally find the strength to roll, right? So we gotta start from a firm foundation first. If we can't do that, we can be just trying to make the best of a bad situation in the end, right? But we don't have a dating culture. We got a culture where we get together, we have some sex, and then we together.
It's feel good. But here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I see. Shout out Tara. Tara joins us tonight. Tara is saying. She said. Let me start here. She said, Neil, people don't have the fortitude to have those challenging conversations. People don't understand the level of commitment. That's a fact. Tanisha, she says, at the end of it, we can only speculate on other people's relationships. You can have boss communication and still grow apart. Everyone has different levels of deal breakers that they can't handle. But you see, that's why, Tanisha, I agree with this. But even with boss communication, there still will be nuances that will be missed, and you still have to be willing and open-minded to be vulnerable and continue. It's hard work, you know. Like Tanisha, Claire, we got a few people in here that are married. Laura, people know marriage ain't a bed of roses, you know. Committed relationships are difficult. It is the hardest thing you're going to do in terms of socializing and interacting that you will ever do on this earth, in this life. It is hard.
So here's the thing, Neil. Nobody tells you that before the fact.
Oh no.
Yeah, nobody tells you that. People get caught up in the planning of it, and everybody try to figure out what dress they're gonna wear, the women what shirt they're gonna wear, what dress they're gonna wear, who they're going to get their hair do up and all that. But nobody tells you, as you said, it is one of the hardest relationships you will ever be in your life.
In your life.
Shout out my guy Neighbor. Neighbor said, like a business, the relationship has a mission statement. Till death do us part. And like a business, everything should be done to achieve that mission statement. But I want to go back to, I saw Maria in the crying earlier. Marina says, prenup, when emotions are involved, it gets messy. And that is why I decided to look at things from a very practical standpoint, right? Very, very practically. So Tanisha makes the point here for me when she says everyone has different levels of deal breakers that they can handle. Now, when I said at the beginning of the show that people just get hard and then be comfortable with it until somebody else tell them, gonna fly at me. Not the same thing here. A relationship is between two people. Yeah? And what might be a deal breaker for you and yours may not be a deal breaker for me and mine.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
On facts.
So I might got a 2-horn limit. Somebody else might got a 10 or 15 horn limit. Right?
Yeah.
So and I get your point that we can't speculate on other people's relationships, but we do that here on this show. We do it. The other content creators do it on their show. You look at the what is there in the fishbowl for you, and from what you see in the fishbowl, we draw reference to us in our daily lives here and what we go through.
Right.
Because it's just a matter of scale. Them lives public, so you see it there, big and bold in your face. We going through the same situations here.
Shoot, a lot. Hold on, a lot of us here got private, public lives too. Relationship all over social media. I learned the hard way. I ain't doing that again. I ain't putting my business out there like that again. I mean, because they know to anyhow. But yeah, nah, I ain't doing that again. So yeah.
Jimmy says that enough people tell you that marriage is hard, but fortunately for you, Jimmy, you were told that. A lot of people were not. We talk about it all the time where people go to marriage counseling, essentially just to say that the debate.
I feel, but no.
And then it turns out is you everything falls apart and people ask you after the fact, but you know to counseling, you say, yeah, we mate.
I feel,
and that removes the culpability and the accountability from you because you wait.
I mean, I could agree with that. So
it can't be your fault.
I think we know that hard, right? I actually think that we know that hard, but I think we figure we got it hard. But I find this person easy now. I got covered. You understand the hubris? I feel like we know it be hard, and we actually people know. Cause you just look at other situations, you just look at other relationships, and be like, babe, look at them, look, child, they getting divorced and thing. You know that would never happen to me. Look at them, look, I hear he horny, she child. That would never happen to me. This and that, next and third. Shoot, I did it in past relationships too, where I thought the relationship was gonna go the distance, and we talked about other people's relationships that didn't go. That would never happen to me. This would never happen to me. That would never happen to me. This is solid. Right? But you feel as though you got it covered. You feel that you got it covered, and you're covered, and your hubris and ego allows you to become complacent within your relationship. And then all of a sudden now, 2, 5, 3, 10 years pass, when I don't really talk or have special time together or whatever. When it's hold on faster, when I don't talk, and then all of a sudden, boy, Jennifer, she's on break.
Come true clear.
What Claire said?
True clear. Claire says marriage was hard. And then came COVID. People looked around and realized they didn't like their partners. Patrice O'Neal tells you straight. Your husband will love you, but he will not like you. Neek's man from right here in Barbados showed who Neek's man. Right? A Bajan living in England doing stand-up comedy. Check out Neek's man's comedy special. It is hilarious. Right? I gotta see if we can find a way to put the link in the chat for you guys. You need to watch Neek's man. Anyhow, he too does a skit where he says he likes it, he loves his wife, he doesn't love her. Right? Sorry, he loves his wife, he doesn't like her. Because you come to realize, you know what? We just too different. We got some things that we just can't get on the same page with, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is.
Right.
I love you. And I ask this to fellas, I can see if the fellas can back me here now. Right? Fellas, when you want to have a good time, do you want to be? Don't ask me what you do. Don't ask what you do. I want you to do not. In this case, you're going to have to answer aspirationally. Right? Not what actually happens. Would you prefer, if you wanted to have a good time, fellas, would you prefer to be with your boys or with your wife or girl? Stick a pin before you answer. If your wife or your girlfriend is looking over your shoulder, do not sell out yourself.
Man, no, Derek. No. Well, no, you're right, because I won't be responsible for the divorce. So
Yeah, we ain't working at the relationship.
Yeah, nobody ain't coming for me.
So, yeah, if you know that you prefer to be with you boys than with the wife or the girlfriend, you can just, you can drop that at me on Facebook Messenger or something like that. But generally speaking, fellas want to have a good time, they get together with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies want to have a time to get together with the girlfriends, or a lot of times they want to be with a man. It happens both ways for them.
Mm-hmm.
Men, generally speaking, want to have a good time, they can check the boys.
Yeah.
Because
basketball, gym, sports, we got it. Drinks.
You know what I mean?
Shout out clear.
And see, fellas trying to support me a little bit. I appreciate it, guys. Victoria says it also has something to do with environment, growing up with parents in a loving relationship versus single parents at divorced parent homes. The children will have different perspectives and examples.
Mm-hmm. Facts on facts on
facts. I want to agree with that. I want to.
No, I agree because. Well, go ahead.
It's hard work. It's hard work that is 100% worth it for me. And I assume him as he is still putting up with me. You kidding. Sense of humor is definitely a huge key, especially after how these last 2 years have been. Antisocial bastard says Nick Meeksman is kicks. Indeed, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer, yes. Who feels it knows. Some self-disclosure. I have been married and divorced. I was committed. He wasn't married just for the mature. I prefer to say marriage is hard work, not hard. All right. Some people compare marriage to like a trip to Egypt. And when you hear about it, I clarify. So you hear about Egypt, you hear about the pyramids and all the great stuff to see down there. When you get there, they say the first thing you notice about it is the heat. It is hot as hell. And nobody has prepared you for the heat of Egypt. But you're down there you're suffering in the heat.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can stick it out a little bit, eventually you acclimatize, you get accustomed to the heat, and now you're able to function in said heat.
Right.
That's what they say. That's the analogy they use. For a person who lives in Barbados, I don't know if we ever get accustomed to the heat, but I'll take their word for it in this regard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Claire says she enjoys being married, especially at 237, but it isn't for everyone. It's certainly not.
Shout out Claire, man.
Yeah. Jennifer says Claire is showing off. Fergie says, Derek, it all depends on the type of good time you're talking about. If it's about sports, you're going to leave her home. After that, it depends on the activity. Steve says your partner gets a version of you that aligns with who they believe you are, and you have to constantly work on that character daily.
No. Pause. Read that again there.
Jeez, my man CP in the house.
Yeah, shout out Chris Sparse, man. We're getting on Chris. Shout out.
Chris, we need to have a link up.
Yeah, I want you shout out that I want you to read that Steve comment again.
Yeah, man, I can read that again. Your partner gets a version of you that aligns with who they believe you are. And you have to constantly work on that character daily.
I watched
that particularly interesting.
I watched Tara follow it up. No, read that too.
Steve, a lot of people don't truly know themselves and then they get married. Here's the thing. My boy Chris Rock. You know Chris Rock? Chris Rock tells you when you first meet somebody, you don't meet them, you meet the representative. So, because in his opinion, you can't get anybody looking how you look, being who you are. Mm-hmm. So you have to send your representative, which is the character that Steve is talking about. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people get what you call a bait and switch because you fall in love with the character. And then the facade always cracks. I had to say that, right? Mm-hmm. No. Thank you for the segue, Steve. This is why people stay when they really should go. Because you've fallen in love with the character, as Steve is saying. And much like crack, heroin, whatever you want to call it, you are trying to get that initial high from the character you first met. That character gone. Mm-hmm. So you sticking it out. Ma, she's a good girl, ma. She just harmed me from time to time, but she all right. She cool. Yeah, she don't do nothing for me, but she cool. She pretty like she nice, smart, she's a good girl. What she do for your name, but she cool, man. She's a good girl. Okay. And you, man, he real sweet, man. He's a good fella. I like he bad. He's do for your name.
He just beat me every now and then, but
He treat behind me every now and again. But he's a good fella, boy, man. He cool, man. I like he. And you like, but, so how you get me? Man, you real sweet in the beginning, and you bring flowers and that kind of thing. So when last you do that more about 3 years ago, you say yourself, have you trying second, you say, okay. Because you falling in love with the character. Are you trying to see if you can do more, reinvest, re-up your investment, trying to get back the original character?
Ah boy, antisocial now hit me with one. That's why you have to evaluate periodically, and that's the point. The maturity comes in knowing that you have to do it periodically. A lot of us evaluate in the beginning, we done with that. We may evaluate every time around anniversary time, but we done with that.
Not even then.
We are then. We evaluating. We are not evaluating regularly.
So we ain't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But I show you how that's how we over here. It's not doing.
Cha.
But yeah. Nobody got time for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So.
But yeah, Chris Pryor said what we heard. Maybe we got to have a link up. Jennifer is saying Dubai is 100% more, 100 more percent harder than Ben. Steve, that really depends on the image you presented, says antisocial bastard. Clear, yes, Tara, and it makes them miserable. Jennifer is agreeing to something I said. Tanisha says, if you have to put on a version and character of yourself for your partner, you're doomed, yo.
All right, hold on a minute there. I
hate to tell you this, but you meet characters daily.
Daily. I can take this time to let everybody know that you're watching the Senate podcast. We're on YouTube now exclusively. So while you're here, just give us a like, give us a subscription. If you have not subscribed, we gotta do this whole spiel now. But yeah, we're trying to get the community going here on YouTube. We're trying to get the algorithm to favor us, and yeah, let me see if we can make something happen from Barbados in this space. Keep going there.
Yes. Tara says, Fat Steve, my ex-husband told me that he was a man he felt he needed to be with someone like me. Representative or facade? Facade. Representative. Yeah, you can call it a representative because in entertainment, your agent will be your representative. Your agent, they say your agent shouldn't hang with you, shouldn't lie with you because your agent should not see anything that would give him the impression that he shouldn't represent you or he shouldn't be seeking the best for you, right? So yeah, you can say you're representative. Besides, same thing technically. Clear. A guy once told me the first 2 years in a relationship don't even count. Wow. That's what you have to evaluate periodically. Dion says there's a serious statement there, Tara, and indeed it is because it's very true. It's very, very true. Victoria says also people change over time, so agreed, nothing need to keep evaluating. Relationships don't run on autopilot.
Facts.
Indeed, they do. Clear, they evaluate at the end and get 20/20 vision. No, Clear, they get 50/50 division of assets. Not vision, division of assets.
That's hard.
If you're lucky.
That is great. That's a very hard punchline there. Very good segue there. Love it.
Thank you, man. I try. The social master says, better make the time. That person gets a good deal of your energy and assets. Let's remember the assets. Fergie, I'm not sure if I'm too much with this representative thing, though. I am who I am. If you present a facade, then it's your fault. You attracted the wrong person. And that's the thing. I really want us to be aware that while you may not present a facade, people will present a facade to you.
Man, no, I will go back to that there. I do agree with you. Fergie, you may not present a facade, no. But I am sure when you were Claire said the first 2 years don't count. I mean, you gotta show that you ain't really, like I get that facade thing, right? Like you don't in some circles, in some spaces, because watch, you may not want to share everything with your partner. You might not be afraid to share your vulnerable moments with your partner. You may be, not able to communicate well, you may be closed off in certain aspects, right? So in some part, you are not giving the true representation of yourself. So at some point, you are going to hold back. I just given examples, but it could be any other thing. It is very rare for you to give your complete, unfiltered, this is who I am person, and the person say, yeah, I cool with all of that. Because we all flawed, we all come from different backgrounds, and we all, it's hard, man. It's hard because when you show up, shoot, I have showed somebody my 100%, exactly who I am, where my mind is, what I think, and everything like that, and they rejected that. So, at the end of the day, I am not saying you're gonna come and dress up like in Mission Impossible. You go on a mask and you put it off like Tom Cruise. No, that's not what we're saying. We're right. We are saying that you show, you have devices within yourself. You have masks. Call it masks. You have certain things within yourself that allows you to kind of put up a wall or facade. So for most of us in these relationships, especially married, you are showing a great deal of yourself, right? And if you're showing 100% of yourself and your partner accepts that fully, then fine. But we rarely show 100% to our partners because in the end, we are all small, frightened children inside. We all have insecurities. We all have things that we're afraid of, and we don't want to be taken advantage of. So, while Fergie, I would understand that you are who you are. You are who you are to you, and who you are may be different to your boys than it is to your wife, right? But you have to be like, I don't know. It's funny for us men, right? When we get in certain circles, we get in certain spaces. Men is be men. Men is, you see one side of a man, and then if his woman or significant other or whatever comes around the place, they can be more reserved. They can be different, right? The jokes may be different. The talking points may be different. The way he consumes alcohol, if he does at all, may be different. Depending on the relationship he has with the person that might gas you up to be even more outgoing. He may feel the need to want to show up and show out. Regardless, you are not the same person with your partner as you are with other people. Mm-hmm. Therefore, when we say facade, I understand people thinking that I use the Mission Impossible analogy tongue in cheek, but it's like you are not showing who you are to everyone at every time, right? That is, I don't know how to say that. Like if you are a person that is completely transparent to everyone in your life and you feel comfortable doing that, more power to you. I don't know how that working out for you, but I think that there are different versions to me. It's so funny, right? Because a lot of people that don't know me see me out and they see Neil Hoyt and they say, okay, Neil Hoyt is aloof, arrogant, he's quiet, he is shy, he is all these things. But then when people meet me, they see a completely different side of me because I'm comfortable. I have met people that in a setting where I was comfortable, and then when I tell them, I am a shy person or whatever, I'm a reserved person, they'll be like, you? Nah, that ain't true. Because you saw me in a setting where I was comfortable. Right? But when I alone with a woman or whatever, we spending quality time, I ain't gonna be like how it is with my boys. I ain't gonna be, you know what I mean? Like, Victoria, the word we should use is facet. I can get down with that. You're showing different sides of yourself. But yeah, I hope I'm making sense. I hope, I ain't reading the chat or whatever.
Yeah, you get, as you say, you're different people. I guess it's a little different. I try to be the same person, but even within that, I found, for example, when I was at BCC,
you're a different person, but the basketball court, am you?
Yeah, but that's why I represented the example.
Right.
When I was at BCC, I was cool with everybody in the class and everything. But then we had to do a project where you had to go and attend a choir rehearsal and kind of report on the rehearsal and everything. Mm-hmm. And just kind of analyze different aspects of it and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So because I had a choir at the time, my classmates decided, well, hey, this is easy work. We come into Derek's rehearsal, right? They come to the rehearsal, but the cool, easygoing person they saw or they see every day in class was not the person that presented himself to them at the rehearsal.
Right.
Because they're sitting in the back watching me conduct this rehearsal. And they started to ask people in inquiry, this how this man is me all the time at rehearsal? So yeah, that's it. Like serious. Like they're not mucking about, they're not playing. And one guy even said after the rehearsal, they could see me kind of like thawing out. Just coming down from that because I was a different person in that particular environment. Right. And even within that a rehearsal space, I am one person in front of a choir. I'm a different kind of director in front of G Syndicate. Because it's different people, different approaches. And the funny thing is, some of the guys from G Syndicate were also in that choir. So they saw both sides of that. And they know that the line between the two is very thin, to be honest, in terms of, my capacity to flip out when certain things don't go right. But they didn't see that part because it was less people, a little easier to manage in terms of numbers and stuff like that, getting it right, as opposed to acquire 20 strong. And they're going to make sure that everybody like on point. So I get as clear as Victoria said, the facets, different sides of. But there's some people who will give you a representative or a complete facade. So that like 10 years down the line, you didn't even know like, yeah, this man is small. Or like, shoot, this man got a whole other family someplace else, That's something totally different. But because we kind of like jump into relationships a little too quickly, then we kind of like discover things by the way. And that is what's kind of tripping us up in terms of our relationships.
Yep. I completely agree. People like our video. If you right now you're watching, you think we talking, and you're enjoying the content, you're enjoying spending time with us, whatever, just give us a like. Subscribe if you haven't. It's very important because we're trying to build. It's funny, right? I always used to watch and hear people with that like, subscribe, follow, whatever, and these be like, child, people begging for likes. Oh God! But then, as you start to understand how the algorithm works and how YouTube works and how you build.
Beg for some likes.
I ain't really big on it. Every time it's been like, please like and subscribe. The Godfathers is usually stop the stream. Man, so stream get a likes, man. You ain't liking it. We got. Yeah, so just give us a like if you're liking what we talking. If you're liking sharing time with us, if you agree, disagree, or whatever, just give us a like, subscribe. And yeah, we
share it with your friends too.
Yeah, share.
Share with your friends. We are always here for the interaction. We love interacting with you guys. We love doing the show. Sure. To be honest,
I love it. I tell you, honestly, Derek, I told you this before. I literally did the highlight of my week. Well, this and some other things, right? But like this space, I love this space. I love this space a lot. It gives me something to look forward to, for sure. And it is improving me as a man too, right? Because especially in the last few months, a lot of things that I've been seeing, a lot of interactions, how to move as a man, and how to really open your eyes and see things from a more objective position, especially in your personal life, and not lead with emotions.
Stoicism.
Yeah.
Stoicism.
Yeah.
Embrace it, my friend.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy this space, man. I enjoy the people that come out. I enjoy, hard or soft, whether they come in for us or they agree with us. I do appreciate it. I want you all to just share the message, share it with your friends. Let me get this community up and growing and going. And let me try to make people a little better in their lives, especially men. Men, we got a lot of work to do. We do have to work to be a little better because we are speaking from a point of communication. We talk about communication.
I forget Jimmy in here, man. Big up Jimmy. Jimmy used to sing in my choir as well, man. A real good tenor. Shout out Jimmy and a very good flautist as well, huh?
Okay.
So yeah, big up Jimmy, man. Jimmy's a good guy.
Right. But yeah, we want to make men. we know that communication is very hard for us, right? We're trying to, my mom there says stoicism and everything like that. You're trying to, you know, you don't want to get moved to emotion or anything like that. But we have to do a better job of communicating what we want and how we want it, because women do it the same. Women tell us what time it is, however it land,
Straight up.
right?
But I'll tell you, Neil, right? Let me just give some advice to the guys in the chat. Why? And ladies, take this for what it is. Fellas, you have to be willing to accept your woman, right? And deal with the fallout.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to do that.
Stick by your guns.
If you aren't willing to do that, well, you can just take whatever come along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you will not communicate what you, because that's reality. Men have not been talking because they've been afraid to upset, to rock the boat.
Yeah, you don't want it.
So men haven't been saying anything. They kind of hold it down and just hope, well, this too shall pass until the women come back around. You have to be able to say, you know what, X and Y are bothering me. This is the case.
Mm-hmm.
If you aren't prepared to do that, well, if you don't stand for nothing, you fall for everything.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And this thing about sex, right? I gotta come back here because for a lot of people, especially men, lack of sex, especially the more and more advanced the relationship gets, 33 years and 32 days, you get older, whatever. Men, there is nothing wrong in letting your partner know if she is not providing you with a certain type of sexual energy or whatever, and she's not communicating it to you as to why she has decided to shut off sex or whatever. There is nothing wrong in having that conversation with her and bringing it up as a talking point. I tell you, woman, you ain't give me none again, get some other way or whatever. No. I see Raleigh's Leslie. Good night, gentlemen. Great discussion. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Give me a like and share and subscribe and all that begging thing. But do not be afraid to speak about what you want. Be respectful always. Have integrity always. But never be afraid to speak about your desires. Why? Because, as I was telling a friend of mine today, the world doesn't owe you anything, right? You don't sit quiet and sit down in your corner and expect the world to say, oh, here is sex, or here is money, or here is whatever you want. You have to talk. You have to speak up. So if you are not getting something in your relationship, man, and by extension, well, women, you all do a very good job of explaining and, happy wife, happy life and all this here. But men, if you know that something ain't going to your liking in the relationship, find a very decent way of saying, this ain't gonna work with me. You understand? You got to find a decent way to say, yeah, Randy's saying it here. I think he's closed mouths don't get fed.
Fact. I tell you, right? This is my neighbor, right? This is my next door neighbor. One of the most straightforward men you will ever meet, right? One of the most straightforward men. Big up neighbor, man. He's been here for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah,
really
man.
appreciate it, neighbor. Had a birthday. Well, this is on the 26th, couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago or so. Yeah, so big up neighbor, man. One of the most straightforward men you will ever meet. He got it from his dad. So
yeah.
big up forward, man.
So yeah, so men. We talked on Tuesday about integrity, about discipline, and about the facets we believe makes a man. What men are, we are not as guided by emotions as women. Therefore, if you speak from a resolute place, speak from a place of respect, speak from a place of understanding, but also speak from a place of genuine emotion. Because if you, when I say genuine emotion, I tell you, I'm not talking about, get and cry and weep and everything like that. If that's you, that's you. But what I'm not talking about, I'm talking about if something,
never suggest men.
if you are bothered by a woman nagging you all the time, right? The woman nagging you all the time and got you feel like you is an employee that is not meeting her standard, right? And it bugs you and you whatever, right? bring it up to her and say, look, I don't like how you talk to me like this. I have a conversation about it. And women, as much as, you see, women say things, and however the man receive it, the man receive it. What I want y'all to do is to deliver just as thoughtfully as I'm asking the men to do. And men, I'm asking you to consider the reception of what you say. Women, receive what a man is going to say, especially if he is speaking about something that really bothers him. Because at the end of the day, right, you tell a man whatever you want, telling him however it land because he is man. But as I tell you something, you're like, oh, but why is this
Coming at me like this.
Yeah, I so delicate now, and I'm no. I am encouraging men, always understand that your wants, desires, and needs in a relationship is just as important as a woman's. Your comfort needs to be met as well. So you know what? Speak up. Speak up. Speak up. Speak up.
And I'll tell you this, right,
Speak
Neil,
up.
there's a I call it a graphic. I don't know. I think I saw it before the days of memes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's this very small dog looking at a larger dog, and the caption says, "Speak your mind, even if your voice trembles." Right? Speak your mind, even if your voice trembles. Fellas, you have to say what's going on. You have to. Do not. Not Winston. William Farrell. He had the quote. I think you should still have it. You may still have it. I hope you do. Man's greatest weakness is his facade of strength.
Oh,
fellas,
let me say
you got to put down that strength. You have to be able to say, look, this is bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies, when the fellas tell you something is bothering them, you got to listen.
You have to listen.
Don't hear, listen. And not listen to respond.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, don't listen to react. You got to listen to respond.
Amen. Fact on fact
right?
on fact.
Don't just decide, well, you only want to hear me say it quite ready for heat tonight. Because what happens then, if you react, he will shut down. I tell yourself, but I tell you she not anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the last time. Last time I tell she saying, she tell me to pay attention.
She gone like a black hat, so
she started to make me feel like I is the problem. But that's what it is about communication, is about understanding, like, yo, a lot of us men, as Derek said, we don't want to talk about things because, shoot, last time I bring that up in 1995, the woman tell me that I this, I that, she made me feel guilty, she tell me all sorts of things, make me feel shame, everything. So that's the last time I talk about that. Meanwhile now, I feel as though my needs are not being met. I have an infidelity or several infidelities. The woman say, well, you cheating for me, well, we done, I want half, rated here. And all of that could have been solved if you had that. I am not saying to confront, but it is so important. And this is what this space has been created for. This space has been created for letting men know that you can speak. You are valid. The world trying to dismiss we and say that we disposable and all that there, right? That in the case, stick on your purpose. Stick on your purpose. Whatever your purpose is, stick on it. That is it. That is you. Follow that path. Don't let nobody or no one get in front of that path. I tell you, left folk people, I'm saying prioritize yourself and your purpose first. Anything that getting in that way of that purpose, anything that looking to put you off out of equilibrium, out of balance, address it. Respectfully, address it. Second thing is understand that you have value, particularly in a relationship. Furthermore, I would even venture to say you may have more value in a relationship, depending on how society looks at you, and that you got to provide financially, you got to provide all of these different needs, right? But at the end of the day, you have to stick to who you are as a man. You got to stick to who, and we talked about this in this space before, what we think a man is. So,
yeah, I see Claire here dropping some knowledge in the chat for all the married women. She says, talking is okay, but we got to consider when, where, and how. can't be confusing the man at home, at work, and at night too.
Oh,
Lord have
no, you gotta
mercy.
give me the bumper claw. You gotta give me the bumper claw.
Yeah,
Facts
that
on
bars
facts
there,
on
Claire.
facts.
When people
Facts
sing,
on facts.
them is bars,
Mm-hmm.
right? Ladies, take it from a married woman in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why we'll come back to you, Jennifer, when you say, why do you use the word nine? Because we talk about the sign language. Another content from creator talks about sign language. Shame, insults, guilt need to be right. You see that part about need to be right?
Mm.
That is a part that kind of trips up a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
Because they mean that they gotta get the upper hand in this argument. And here's the thing, because Jennifer, you're saying, I hear you and receive it, but don't shut down after the first time. And this is why men will shut down. Because if you're wrong, just say you're wrong.
Cheese on
You
bread.
know what I mean?
Call what, Drake? Call what, Drake?
They're looking at you no less because you're wrong.
Watch it, right? When you see all of these movies, when you see all this media, and women, you could even say within your relationships, men, you could talk about too. Who does be the first man to say, who is more likely to say, you know what? I am sorry. I take accountability for my wrong in this situation or in this purpose or whatever. I am wrong. Is it a man or a woman? I literally had a woman tell me, and I talked about 50 years ago, you know. I talking about this year.
This year.
The woman tell me straight. The woman told me that she was wrong. And she knew that she was wrong, but she is not apologizing. The woman told me that.
Yeah.
Point
She'd
blank.
rather not speak to people first.
She would rather
Right?
say it. She would rather say it. You know what? You're right. I am wrong. I should not have approached it like this and everything like that. But I am not saying the words, I am sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a fact.
Jennifer, I asked. You say I have no problem. I admit I'm wrong. I am sorry. I asked you.
That's you, but look at what Agent Smith says immediately thereafter. The last thing most women will ever do is admit they're wrong, especially when they have backup.
Listen to me. You hear what I tell you? Jennifer, I want you to admit between men and women who is more likely to take accountability and apologize in the context of a relationship.
Well,
Come on, people, sound off. Sound off, people, sound off. Right.
that like is a serious question, boy, Neil boy.
I telling you, it like that.
I got the pondering.
I telling you. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
Truth is out there.
The truth is out there. But
Victoria says, as a lawyer, I can confirm so many disagreements could easily be solved with a genuine apology.
On-
The guys are saying men. Antisocial says that other women will jump through hoops to provide that backup. We saw that when Ramel was on the show with his Ramel's article. Yeah, that was interesting.
look at
Tara
antisocial.
says, I'm giving you,
Bro, go ahead. Go
you
ahead.
are men generally try to make peace. Yeah. Coming back to that, Tara says, admitting you are wrong is a part of maturity too. I have no problem. I'm admitting I'm wrong, and the women I'm close to are the same. Well, good for you, Tara. You are in a special group.
I'm telling you.
Like you see that part there, antisocial. I think we need to be less willing to make peace. I remember I went through a point in my life where I was very willing to make peace, and I have a very good friend of mine. A good friend of mine, we'll call his name out here. He was in that march. He got quarrel. He was a warrior guy, right?
Mm.
You
got crawl.
got quarrel. And you and I actually know another guy, Neil, who would say if you don't quarrel, he don't feel like the relationship going well. At least feel like saying wrong. You feel like quarreling is healthy. I don't believe in that. But
I mean, to me that is akin to if you don't beat me, you don't love me. If you don't crawl, you don't love me. I ain't none of that. Cause I'm a mother. I tell you, I had that life. I had a life of argument every day with a partner, and then I had the relationships where you hardly ever argue. Probably argue 2 times in 4 years. I like the two arguments in 4 years here. I hate to argue. I hate to always feel like I got to
Walk
it.
on eggshells.
Not even walk on eggshells, Derek. But it's like you gotta be on trial. I gotta bring evidence to support my argument. I gotta bring this and bring that, like just so you can see that you are wrong, because you know you're wrong. And that's the thing. This was bothering me. People in general know that this be wrong. People in general know right from wrong. I know exactly what they did was wrong. A man might try to dipsy doodle and try to whatever, but in the end, if you realize, look, you know what, this bringing me more stress than anything else. I am sorry, I was wrong. Shoot, sometimes a man's apologize when it ain't any fault.
Yep. Because I want you to be. I want you to look in the chat and see what's going on, right?
Mm.
This social is asking for an introduction to some of the women in Tariff's circle. Fergie says women is a big thing now. Women is saying sorry. Ladies, please see what the men are saying. Claire now says we can both be right.
Man, Claire, behave, man. No, don't dipsy doodle. Shut up. Don't dipsy doodle.
Fellas. All right. Steve says, I know women that would bring up an argument that they won rather than apologize. Yes, that's called a deflection. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Dion says, I think y'all need to be careful with this making peace talk, because saying okay, you're right, or saying nothing just to keep peace doesn't accomplish anything. But
that's what Derek just said.
That's what men think the recourse is.
And that's what Derek just said. Derek said, you got to quarrel. You got to keep noise, because if you know within yourself, like, because I agree with that. Don't come and say, don't appease. Don't be like, you know what, babe, this argument is my fault. When it really ain't got that, no, stick out that you're wrong, and you know you're wrong. As a man, as a person that I believe in, so I got this thing with me, and it's a good and a bad thing, where so we really doing here now though, like, you know you're wrong. I know you're wrong. We both know that you're wrong. But you're just sticking out for what the anybody else here will be. Who you trying to impress right now? Who you trying to think you're wrong? Say you apologize.
So yeah, Neil, I just say something. This one is for you.
You saying?
And this one is for all the guys in the chat. But based on Dion's statement that trying to keep peace doesn't get anything accomplished, right?
Yeah.
Trying to you use the word appease, and that kind of triggered me a little bit. So I found this one and had this one saved for the longest time. Please put that on screen for us, Neil, so everybody can see what's really going on. That last graphic that I saying.
Companies can pay women.
What?
Not the
Wait,
video, the graphic.
Wait, hold on. Oh, so many things happening. What's happening? Oh, sorry about that, people. Let us try that one more time. Yeah, we should be there now.
Yes. An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile, hoping it will eat him last.
Oh, bumba
Yeah. So, gentlemen, be wary of that. Yeah. An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile, hoping it will eat him last.
Amen.
Fellas,
and amen.
You can still get eat. And
Yep.
not in the way you're thinking. So you could as well quarrel.
Not in the good way. Could as well
Not
quarrel.
in the good way.
And,
So as well quarrel.
and I will let you all know from my experience, right? When you appease, when you try to keep the peace and you say, no, well, fair enough. My bad, I sorry. Or you own up to your mistakes and you say, look, I am sorry, I was wrong in this instant or whatever. You set the precedent of saying with the woman, oh, well, I always right. And you always wrong, and you always making mistakes. So there will be times. Claire, shout out. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope to see you again.
Claire, go and apologize for something.
And I hope, I hope you like and subscribe before you go. Yeah, like and subscribe. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But yeah, man, because they want the convo to be done.
Pretty much.
I mean, Maria, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. But in the end, we have to understand there are some things, some points you gotta stand your ground, and that's the thing as a man too. There are some times you know that you're right. You know that this person is doing something wrong. They know, and you know, and everybody know that thing. Hold out, stick to your guns. I ain't telling you do something stupid like curse and burn and do. I ain't telling you all that, but hold out and say, listen to me, right? And talk to them. Sometimes you may have to talk to them as if they're not who they are in your relationship. You're gonna be like, yo, what are you doing this here for? What are you sticking out for? Nobody and what you read right now. You are wrong. You know that you are wrong. And here is how you're wrong. And here's the evidence that you're wrong. And here's why continuing doing this makes it wrong. So just take accountability for it and let's move on. I will not see you, as Derek said, I will not see you as less. I will not see you as less. I will just see you as human taking accountability for their actions, because we men take accountability all the time for our actions. That's what we do.
We got a choice.
Shoot, society does force us to be accountable, even when the accountability ain't really at us. So you know what, women? Shoot, take a page of the man book. If you know you're wrong, and you know that you know, own up to it, take accountability, say my bad, and look to do better. Because as much as this space is for men to do better and be the best version of you for you, we want the women to be that too. Because, you know, yes, sometimes we be very critical of women. We get on the women and they say all sorts of things about we and everything like that. But the truth of the matter is that the mentality out there between men and women, for men, it is retarded. No, I don't want to use that word. It is illogical. Women doing certain things that are illogical, right? And I ain't even talking about the extremes. I'm talking about in our day-to-day lives, how we use social media, how we go about relationships, how we talk to people, engage people. We doing it wrong. And if they don't agree with me, look at the statistics. We doing it wrong. And a lot of us getting out of relationships, getting out of marriages and saying we ain't getting out that road again. How many people we know that get married, that were married already and say, I ain't doing it again? Not me. Not me.
Not me.
Men and women. This ain't only a funny thing for Derek to put up on a thing. This is men and women. Women that have been in this, that are in this chat, that have been married before. Jennifer says she ain't getting married again. So to me, for my one part, we got to do better. We have to do better. We have to be better. So you know what? The same way we men are held to a standard of being accountable in 2021 is the same way that women, you have to be accountable in 2021. If you know you did wrong, if you know that you're becoming illogical and you're behaving illogically, you're doing something that don't make sense, if you know you said something you shouldn't have said, or you did something you shouldn't have done, or you acting in a particular way just because you feel a type of way or whatever, take accountability for what you have done and then have a conversation about it. Tara says she will remarry. Well, bless your heart. I only got one marriage in me here. I tell you that straight now. I got one. And if that come, if it don't come, I don't know, but I got one solid marriage in me. One. So if I marry for if I marry for 3 months and we get a divorce, then my free life gone. I got one marriage in me. That's right. That's right, Keisha. I'll be all alone but my lonesome self. Not me. So ladies and gentlemen, we've been on here now for what, 2 hours and 7 minutes. We are now approaching the 10 o'clock hour. I think we have talked a lot. We have really appreciated you guys sticking with us, migrating over to YouTube and engaging us in conversation. Again, I want to remind everybody that you have been watching the Senate. I want to encourage and implore everyone to subscribe the channel, like or dislike, whatever. We just want some type of engagement with you. Continue to comment, share. We still on Facebook, the Senate Podcast. We ain't forgetting about it. We can still post things there to drum up conversation, and we will share the link there so that people on Facebook can know what we're doing. We are also on Instagram, the Senate Podcast 246, and senateinsession@gmail.com is where you can send any emails, business inquiries, anything of that sort. If you want to share anything with us, you know how to find us and where to find us. I don't know, Derek boy. I don't know if you want anything else in the comment. I see Tanisha. Men do not always take accountability for stuff at all. I still waiting on accountability from exes. Realize I would dead first. Humans on a whole need to hold themselves accountable, and that is fair, Tanisha. I ain't saying that men. I'm not saying that men are. We sometimes don't take accountability. But the thing about it is that society on a whole holds us accountable. So you're right, human beings don't take accountable. We don't like to be sorry. We don't like to own up. We are afraid of being seen a type of way. We need to get out of that, right? I let me see. Facts, Tanisha, antisocial. While they may not necessarily accept accountability, the blame is assigned. Facts on facts. Greg at Tanisha. Some men don't. In truth, it's not exclusive. Drop the Senate email in the chat, please, or repeat again. Senate in session at gmail.com. Yeah, Senate in session. You could go on our you see, Tara, if you subscribe to YouTube channel, you can go on the YouTube channel and we got the email there. See, you got a plug. I can get Q-State. But anyhow, people, thank you very much.
Before we go in here, I sent you a video.
Oh, a video, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Just a little bit of levity before we go.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the Senate podcast, guys. We don't make the rules, just make sure you know what they are. Be the best version of you for you. We'll see you all next week, but just one video before we go to see you all around.
All right, so here, let me play this video here now.
Companies can pay women less. Yes. Why don't they hire all women?
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Really?
I understand your argument, and I understand that you're angry.
I'm not angry.
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm not angry.
Your voice.
I'm hearing my voice and I sound pretty calm.
You have now shifted the quality of your voice, and I thank you for that.
Okay.
And you've just given me a condescending look, and that's another reason why we need feminism. And now I'm done. And thank you so much.
We will go so far, baby. I hope it lasts forever, baby.